Sawadee-ka. Thank you for joining us on Newsline. We're broadcasting live on NBT, Radio Thailand FM 88, and also on NBT World. It's a Tuesday and the date is May 10th, and my name is Sandra Hanutsaha. We're going to begin with our Thailand Moves Forward segment. In our first story, the Prime Minister has ordered helicopters be dispatched to assist in fighting a forest fire on Doi Suthep of Chiang Mai province, while calling for the public to be more aware of fire hazards. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has asked that the military take part in battling forest fires taking place in several areas of the country and authorized the use of helicopters in the effort. On the fire in Doi Suthep, the Prime Minister revealed it was caused by homeless people setting fires to stay warm during the night. He said the public must become more aware of the causes of forest fires and desist from practices that can lead to blazes. He acknowledged that low-income earners continue to be unaware of their contribution to forest fires and ultimately the haze problem in the northern region. The Premier has ordered serious action against forest fires both in the north and the south. The Minister of Tourism and Sport has affirmed that the wildfire in Chiang Mai will not affect tourism and has encouraged locals to continue to welcome visitors. Minister of Tourism and Sports Gopkan Watanawarankul said the wildfire on Doi Suthep National Park near the village of Khun Chang Kien in Chiang Mai province will definitely not affect the tourism industry in Chiang Mai province. The ministry has discussed with the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment and related agencies to ascertain the cause of the forest fires in the region. The minister pointed out that despite the smog in certain areas during the Songkran festival, tourists have continued to visit the country. Meanwhile, locals are urged to continue to act as hospitable hosts and welcome visitors to the country. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha suggests Thai people adjust themselves to a new form of trade and encourages product innovation. Government spokesman Major General Sansan Galkamnod said the Premier suggested that Thailand and its people should utilize technology to facilitate trade and improve product distribution. He emphasized that Thailand needed to develop products which were both useful and tasteful and met the needs of consumers, said Major General Sun Soon. General Prayut wanted to see Thais innovate and create products more so that they were able to compete with other countries, said the spokesman. He added that the Prime Minister said he believed that there was still a lot of room for Thai economic growth. The Prime Minister believed that there were many good innovators in Thailand and the country would be much further developed if they worked together, said Major General Sun Soon. The Permanent Secretary of the Interior Ministry has urged all volunteers who will take part in the trips to explain the draft charter and the referendum question to perform their jobs thoroughly and carefully. Permanent Secretary for Interior Office of the Permanent Secretary Grisada Bunrat said that in the meeting of all involved in the recruitment of volunteers, he has instructed all to be ready to perform their duties, especially the recruitment of 5 volunteers in each province. Mr. Grisada said that the recruitment process is ready and will be completed before May 18th. When all volunteers are scheduled to attend the 2-day training course to learn about the draft charter and to hear the Election Commission's directives and conditions in order to make sure that they will not violate the Public Referendum Act. Mr. Grisada is confident that those who are recruited will be careful while carrying out their mission, while planning to urge all provincial governors to keep an eye on the process and act swiftly in resolving any conflict. The Constitution Drafting Commission, or CDC, is not worried about any possible disruption during the training of volunteers who will help explain the draft charter and the referendum question. CDC spokesman Chathai Nachengmai said that the training for all volunteers during the dates of May 18th and 19th will be for both those who represent each province and those who serve respective districts. Mr. Chathai said that those who are each province's 5 volunteers will get a briefing on key points of the draft charter in the morning of May 18th before they get to learn about the referendum question in the afternoon. He added that volunteers who will work at the district level will get the same training after that. The CDC spokesman also said that the charter drafters will do the follow-up to make sure all volunteers will always have the help they may need to make sure that there will not be any inaccuracy in the information they will share with the people. A global accounting firm has indicated the economic crimes situation in Thailand has shown signs of improvement following a concerted effort between the private and public sectors. PricewaterhouseCoopers Consulting Thailand, or PwC, has released its biannual Global Economic Crimes Survey, detailing the incidence of economic crimes by country. It noted that Thailand had its highest rate of survey respondents this year with 261, up from only 76 in previous years. It also pointed out that the range of organizations that took part in the survey grew, with stock market listed companies joining private and public organizations to give responses. The report showed signs of improvement in Thailand, with the rate of corruption at 26%, down from the previous rate of 37%. Computer crimes, however, increased in line with global trends. In Thailand, the rate of computer crimes was 24% against the world average of 32%. Bribery tumbled in the kingdom to only 19% from a previous 39%. PwC nonetheless reminded that the rate of bribery and graft impact investor sentiment and serve as an obstacle to Thailand's economic growth. Buriram Province would like to invite tourists and Thai residents to experience the magnificent annual Phnom Rung Festival, and Manoj Seasonsap reports.
For many, Phnom Rung Stone Castle is not just a tourist site, but the sacred grounds of the Lord Shiva. It was constructed in the Angkor style, which prevailed during the 10th to the 13th century as a Hindu temple. 1,000 years later, it remains the most beautiful and best restored Khmer temple in Thailand. Its attraction, besides its authentic beauty, is a phenomenon that occurs only 4 times a year, when the sun's rays shine through all 15 doorways of the temple. Many believe that being able to absorb the rays can revitalize one's spirits. Being a holy place, every year, villagers have made a tradition of walking up Phnom Rung to worship. In 1991, made it an official ceremony of the province of Buriram. And 25 years later, the ceremony retains its special significance in the lives of residents, who now call it the Phnom Rung Festival. This year's Phnom Rung Festival will be held between 1st to 3rd April. The governor of Buriram Province, Seri Sihatrai, along with the Provincial Tourism Authority of Thailand, the head of Phnom Rung Historical Park, and other entities have announced their support of the coming event.
Every year we have this special ceremony called the Phnom Rung Festival to worship the holy place. This year is really special. Throughout the 3 days period, there will be parades of Phupatin Thara Raksami Tevi, which is the mother of Prince Naren Thanatit, who construct the castle and the 10 divine vehicles. Miss Thailand World 1997, Suang Suda Lawan Prasert, is Pupatin Thara Raksami Tevi for this year. There will be a light and sound show telling the story of the stone castle, the construction of this holy place of Lord Shiva. We will also guide visitors in how to worship, while the event will take visitors back in time to see how people lived back then during the Khmer Kingdom.
This year, on April 3rd to 5th, visitors who arrive at the stone castle by 6 a.m. will be able to observe the natural phenomenon where the early morning rays of the sun shine through the 15 doors of the Phnom Rung stone castle. As the provincial governor says, the light will enliven the souls of the pilgrims. Panosi Sinsap, NBT World, Buriram.
Thank you to Kumpano for that report. And people across the country, including the southern province of Yala, have flocked to buy school uniforms for their children in preparation for the new semester. In Yala municipality, a number of parents were seen bringing their children to local uniform stores as the first day of school was approaching. A popular store in Pimuantai Market was packed with customers who mostly purchased slightly oversized items to make sure they could be worn for the whole year. The shop owner revealed that uniform sales this year were satisfactory, although some parents could afford only 1 or 2 new uniforms. The operator said prices were maintained at the same levels as last year in hopes of boosting sales. Uniforms of some schools were also found to be out of stock as the number of students in Yala was reportedly on the rise. And that is the end of today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. It's time for a quick break now, but first we'll have a look at the exchange rates and also the commodity prices.
If the earth is your home, the ocean is theirs as well. Working together, the government and private sector can solve all the issues currently facing the Thai fishing industry. From legitimizing fishing operations to helping out our fellow fishermen and collaborating with international parties.
ตอนนี้ถึงเวลาแล้วนะครับที่เราจะต้องมาร่วมมือกันทำให้มันถูกต้องมันก็ต้องปรับตัวในช่วงแรกแต่ในระยะยาวมันก็คุ้มค่าถ้าไม่มีอาชีพนี้เราก็ไม่รู้จะทำอะไรกันแล้วผมก็พร้อมครับที่จะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในการแก้ปัญหา
ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community. Due to recurring natural disasters in the ASEAN region, the ASEAN Committee on Disaster Management has become the main authority to coordinate emergency help during disasters. Moreover, there is background of cooperation in terms of environmental sustainability and restoration of natural forest land to reduce the impact of disasters. One vision, one identity, one community.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Let's have a look at some ASEAN updates. An unofficial vote count showed the 71-year-old former lawyer and prosecutor Rodrigo Duterte prevailing in the contest to replace outgoing President Benigno Aquino III, who was ineligible for re-election after a single 6-year term. Under Philippine election law, that is, the candidate with the most votes wins even without a clear majority. As of 1 a.m. local time, Duterte had won 38% of the vote, ahead of his closest rival by about 15 percentage points. Following a combative campaign which culminated in Aquino comparing Duterte to Nazi leader Adolf Hitler, the president-elect pledged reconciliation in his first news conference held just as polls closed. Turnout for the election was a whopping 81%, illustrating the polarizing power of the frontrunner Duterte, who campaigned on a law and order ticket after transforming once lawless Davao into what is considered the Southeast Asian nation's safest city. Duterte's crime-busting exploits have raised the concerns of human rights advocates who allege that, quote-unquote, death squads under his control are responsible for several hundred extrajudicial executions in Davao. Duterte insists his forces only use deadly force when encountering violent resistance. Thai Foreign Minister Don Paramatwinai met his Myanmar counterpart Aung San Suu Kyi and the country's President Tin Kyaw in Naypyidaw yesterday. Mr. Don told the media after the meeting that the Dawei Special Economic Zone project, a three-party cooperation between Thailand, Myanmar and Japan, was among the topics discussed. Both sides also stressed on the need to improve cooperation within the ASEAN, or Association of Southeast Asian Nations, framework. He said Thailand will seek higher cooperation in other areas such as trade and investment with Myanmar in the future. Global management consulting firm A.T. Kearney has placed Thailand at 21 out of 25 nations considered prime for investment. In an annual survey conducted by A.T. Kearney, Thailand has placed at rank 21 on a list of 25 countries garnering investment interest based on analysis of its Investor Confidence Index. The survey characterized Thailand's investment sentiment as improving. It attributed returning interest to the country to its political peacefulness and positive economic trajectory over the next 3 years, pointing out both aspects are a result of the government reform efforts. The USA placed number 1 on the list, followed by China, Canada, Germany, and the United Kingdom. The only 2 ASEAN countries to place on the ranking are Thailand and Singapore, which is at 10 on the list. On to some global news now. Neighborhoods in the Syrian city of Aleppo are continuing to experience sporadic rocket attacks despite the implementation of a ceasefire in early May. Downtown Aleppo appears much busier and has more traffic than before the implementation of the ceasefire between opposition and government forces. However, a few blocks away in the district of Medan, one of the areas that has witnessed the heaviest rocket attacks allegedly by opposition forces, local residents said that the improvement in security has been inadequate. A business owner who lives near the destroyed 6-story building said that such rocket attacks happened on a regular basis before the ceasefire, adding that they are still going on, but at a lower frequency. An anti-electoral body protest staged by Kenya's opposition leaders clashed with anti-riot police in Nairobi yesterday. Former Kenyan Prime Minister Raila Odinga, alongside other opposition leaders, led their supporters in protest outside the offices of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, or IEBC, over alleged corruption and bias. The demonstrators got into a confrontation with the police during the process. Anti-riot police used water cannons and tear gas to disperse the crowd after some protesters started hurling stones at police officers. No injuries have been reported as a result of the incident. The opposition leaders later addressed their supporters, vowing to continue pushing for the removal of IEBC commissioners by staging similar protests every Monday. Canadian officials who got their first glimpse yesterday of the oil sands boomtown of Fort McMurray since a wildfire erupted said they were encouraged by how much of it escaped destruction, estimating almost 90% of its buildings were saved. But a tour of the fire-ravaged city also revealed scenes of utter devastation, with blocks of homes reduced to blackened foundations, front steps, and metal barbecues. Alberta Premier Rachel Notley said 2,400 structures had burned within the city, while almost 25,000 were saved. The fire that has ravaged some 204,000 hectares of Alberta moved far enough away from the evacuated town of 88,000 people to allow an official delegation led by the Premier Notley to visit. Reporters on the tour viewed the charred rubble of the community's Beacon Hill neighborhood, where some 80% of the homes had been burned to the ground, and the wreckage of blackened and melted cars remained on roads. Notley said it was not safe for residents to enter the city unescorted, with parts still smoldering and large areas without power, water, and gas. She said repair crews will have weeks of work ahead of them to make the city safe. And a swirling tornado was caught on video after it touched down near Elmore City, Oklahoma. The twister then moved east across I-35 toward Joy, Oklahoma. The U.S. National Weather Service issued a tornado emergency for the Hickory and Rough, Oklahoma areas, where a large and dangerous tornado was approaching. A tornado watch had been issued earlier in the afternoon for parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and northeastern Texas. The watch is in effect until 9 p.m. Central Time. A severe thunderstorm watch was issued for parts of Oklahoma and Kansas, also in effect until 9 p.m. Central Time. And that's all we have for you in this edition of Newsline. If you have any comments or suggestions, do feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. It's also possible to follow us on Facebook by simply typing in NNT. And you can check out our website at thainews.prd.go.th/en. Today we say goodbye with the replica of Nepal's Mahajedi Potinath in Chiang Mai province. For Newsline, I'm Sandra Han Utsaha. Have a great day. Sawadee ka.